Such a bittersweet episode of ACCA 13. I don't know how many people realized it or not, but there was a very sad moment in this episode that really can just hit you if you noticed how tragic it is. So, you know how we were supposed to find out the truth about, Gene and his parents, and then the princess and all that, and how, that entire family was formed, and we got, the truth revealed of how, Gene is the legitimate heir to the throne. However, there was another side that was told in this episode, which was very sad. Nino, Gene's best friend. And we have seen their interactions as friends. We saw how he's been watching over Gene for a very long time. We knew that Nino was a little bit older than Gene, but we didn't know how much older. This episode is revealed, and it reveals to us that Nino is 10 years older than Gene. But on top of that, he had to disguise himself to watch Gene at a young age become a high school student. And you gotta realize, in terms of looking at it like this, it would really fuck with you. For one, imagine being a grown adult, like, 20-something, almost 30, and you're being told, hey, you need to go to high school and all that, and you need to dress up, put your glasses on or whatever, you can hide your, how you look, and go to high school and then spy on this kid. That would probably affect you in some way, because, I'm having to go to high school. But then it's not even that. Once all that is said and done, we see the train, and how the train derailed, and then deaths happen, which we know that's how Gene's parents died. We know the truth, and it was revealed in this episode. However, among this train, among all the passengers, there was the father of Nino, that also had ties and connections to the royalty, the king, and all that. And Nino's father passed away and died. And the first mission he was assigned, soon as he found out his father died, like he was looking at the news, he saw the shock and worry in his face, and he saw the train wreck and all that, and he knew his father was dead. You just saw the shock, and he gets a call. It's like, you need to make sure you go over there, you gotta hide all the evidence and all that, making sure he's not connected or whatever to, the royalty, Gene, and all of them. You need to make sure nothing is found out. And so, soon as he finds out his dad dies, he has to go on a job, like a mission, and do his job, and hide evidence and stuff. And you gotta realize how fucked up that was. This man's going through a loss. He's grieving right now, but then he's being told, hey, you need to get over your father's death. You need to go, help out these others and all that, make sure there's no connections, make sure everything is fine. And then once all that was done, right after that, while Gene and his sister were, grieving on the death of their parents, Nino should have been grieving as well. But instead of actually him dealing with his own demons, his own issues he was going through at that time, he had to throw that aside and help out Gene and comfort him. That is sad. That is really sad, because I feel like that was a hidden side to this episode, showing that even though what happened to Gene and his family is pretty fucked, I mean, they died, it's sad seeing what happened to Nino, because Nino, the whole reason why he was there in the first place is because of how much he cared about his dad, and he was doing everything, like all his entire motives throughout the series was thanks to his dad. He wanted to be there for his dad and help him out, just like how, for instance, the bodyguard he left for the princess, or, how we see what's going on now with Nino, and the father following, the person that was the bodyguard of the princess. I mean, with all of these details, we found out the motives of the individual characters, and that was a really good thing to establish these characters and give characterization. But it's really sad when you see how a character like Nino, not many people really recognize how much he's been through, and he's been through a hell of a lot at such a young age. He was forced to mature at a young age and deal with all these problems, go on these jobs and stuff for his father and help, his father out. And he's been doing this because he cares about him. And it's just really sad how he had to get over his father's death like that because he had to do his job. And I'm like, that's sad. Now, let's talk about one thing that was kind of confirmed in this episode, besides the royalty stuff. One big thing that was confirmed is that the fact is the person that helped the railway, like, the train and all that, after the train wrecked and then the princess died, Gene's parents died, we do know that the dude, which I cannot pronounce his name, I'm not even gonna try, but the dude is obviously the bodyguard of, the princess that passed away. And this explains his connection of why he felt like it was his fault when the railway broke down or, the train derailed. That's why he took so much responsibility and why he went out of his way to help out the individual families, is because he felt truly bad about it because the princess died, and that was his objective, to watch over the princess. And judging by the hairstyle and how we didn't get to see his face, it's very obvious that the dude that was her bodyguard, since he didn't actually end up with her and have a child, it's pretty damn obvious that this dude is the person that's in ACCA, the top official and all that, kind of controls things. He's the main person that, showed his glances over at Gene thinking he was trying to start shit like a rebellion or something. It makes a lot of sense now. So I can understand now where this character is and what type of, connection he has with the train, but also to Gene, and why he would know about Gene and the royalty in the first place is because he actually was the bodyguard to begin with. Now, past all of that, we also need to factor in another thing. Another big point is that it is officially confirmed now that the princess did run away, and that she did, fake her death, and then she had a normal life. She gave up all of her family status and everything that was possibly given to her when she was born as a princess. She gave it all up so she can see the world and help out, the entirety of the kingdom, being a civilian, helping out her father by actually seeing the people and being with the people instead of being royalty and seeing them from down below. I like her perspective, and I like how she's trying to change the world, and it might give a little bit more insight to who might be the person starting the rebellion. I don't think it's Gene, and I do not think it is also the bodyguard. I don't believe so, but the more it looks like it, the more I'm assuming it might be Qualm that's actually probably doing these things behind the scenes. It might be trying to start a rebellion because of the information we can gather from this episode. However, though, I really love this episode, and I love the details it gave when it came to these individual characters, and it really just makes you understand now why these certain characters act like the way they do. Why Nino works for the king, why he works for the bodyguard. It explains a lot now of why he acts like he does around Gene in the first place, too. So yeah, I have to say that when you look at these individual scenes in previous episodes, when they talked about the train and all that, and then Nino's like, oh, it's been a lot better now since they fixed it, we do know that he's also pushing aside his own grief and sadness, too. He might not have ever moved past the death of his father. He possibly has locked it away in his heart, and he's not revealing what he truly feels about the situation because he was forced to mature to this point to where he can help out the siblings. So we gotta remember that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.